there's no use potting around. I'm willing to die trying to keep him. Question is, are you willing to die trying to take him?
These words capture the grit and determination of Hollywood icon John Wayne, a man whose presence defined the American hero on screen. Known for his rugged charm and unforgettable roles, the Duke reigned over Hollywood for more than 3 decades, capturing the hearts and imaginations of audiences around the world. But did you know he once narrowly escaped a serious injury on set, which only added to his reputation as a larger-than-life figure? On May 26, 1907, a 13-pound baby boy was born in Winterset, Iowa, big and strong even from the start. Little did anyone know that this baby, named Marion Robert Morrison, would one day become the Hollywood legend known as John Wayne. His birth even made the local paper, the Winterset Madisonian. As a child, Marion was rarely seen without his loyal big dog named Duke, and soon locals started calling him Little Duke, a nickname that stuck, and later evolved into just Duke, which he came to prefer over his given name. When Marion's family moved to California, settling in Glendale, his father began working as a pharmacist. There, young Duke became a standout at Glendale Union High School. He was a football player, a star in the debating club, and a contributor to the school newspaper. With his natural leadership and friendly personality, he was popular among his peers and showed hints of the larger-than-life persona that would one day captivate audiences worldwide. As a teenager, John Wayne worked at an ice cream shop where he met people connected to Hollywood, sparking his interest in film. His first dream was to join the U.S. Naval Academy, but after he was turned down, Wayne went to USC on a football scholarship. At 6'4", he was a standout on the field until a body surfing accident ended his football career and scholarship. With no way to afford college, Wayne left USC, which ultimately led him back to Hollywood. Through the connections he'd made, he took on small roles and behind-the-scenes work, learning the industry step by step. His deep voice, towering presence, and rugged appeal made him a natural for westerns, and he quickly became a favorite American hero. Wayne's journey was far from smooth. In the 1970s, his outspoken conservative views on Vietnam and civil rights drew both criticism and support. Off-screen, he was as bold as the cowboys he played, standing firm in his beliefs, despite public controversy. Wayne's first Hollywood break came from a simple favor. His USC football coach invited silent Western star Tom Mix to a game, and in return, Mix and director John Ford gave Wayne a job as a prop boy and extra. Wayne later credited his iconic walk, talk, and tough guy image to his friendship with legendary figure Wyatt Earp, a close friend of Mix's. Wayne's early film work consisted of minor, uncredited roles, often under the guidance of his growing friend, John Ford. One of his first appearances was as a guard in Bartolus the Magnificent, 1926, and he later featured in football scenes with his USC teammates in films like Brown of Harvard, The Dropkick, Salute, and Maker of Men. His big break finally came while he was working for Fox Film Corporation. Wayne was credited as Duke Morrison only once in Words and Music. Then, director Raoul Walsh spotted him moving furniture and thought he'd be perfect for a lead role, casting him in The Big Trail. When it came time to pick a stage name, Walsh suggested Anthony Wayne after the Revolutionary War general, but the studio head thought it sounded too Italian. So, they settled on John Wayne, a decision made entirely without Wayne's input. With his new name and rising opportunities, Wayne's salary was raised to $15 a week, a solid start for a future icon. The Big Trail was intended as a groundbreaking film with an impressive $2 million budget, over $32 million today, and breathtaking shots of the American Southwest. Filmed in both 35mm and the new 70mm grandeur format, it promised an immersive experience, but most theaters couldn't show the widescreen version. Though a visual marvel for those who saw it, the film failed at the box office. This setback was tough for young John Wayne, After The Big Trail flopped in 1930, he took on minor roles, even playing a corpse in The Deceiver, 1931, and appearing in the 1933 serial The Three Musketeers. His early parts were small and largely unnoticed. Still, these early struggles laid the foundation for Wayne's legendary career. His resilience through these roles would soon pay off with the breakthrough he needed: Stagecoach. In the early 1930s, John Wayne's career took shape through a series of low-budget Poverty Row westerns produced by Monogram and Mascot Pictures. Appearing in nearly 80 films between 1930 and 1939, he even became one of the first singing cowboys in Riders of Destiny, though his singing was dubbed. These roles gave Wayne essential training, especially in western skills like horseback riding. Working closely with stuntman Yakima Canutt, he mastered realistic stunts and developed a rough fighting style that changed how movie heroes fought, trading clean punches for intense, prop-filled brawls. Wayne's big break finally came in 1939 with John Ford's Stagecoach. Though Ford had to fight for funding due to Wayne's B-movie background, he believed in Wayne's star potential. Stagecoach became a hit, making Wayne a household name. Co-star Louise Platt recalled Ford's prediction that Wayne would become the biggest star ever, perfectly capturing the everyman spirit. When the United States entered World War II, many Hollywood stars joined the military, but John Wayne's path took a different turn. At the time, he was eligible for a deferment due to his age and family status, although he expressed a desire to enlist. Wayne even wrote to director John Ford, requesting to join his unit. However, Republic Studios, where Wayne was the biggest star under contract, strongly resisted his departure. Studio president Herbert J. Yates threatened to sue him if he left, taking steps to ensure Wayne stayed out of the draft. Wayne made an attempt to serve through other means, applying to the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, the forerunner to the CIA, but his application was unsuccessful. Instead, he toured U.S. bases and hospitals in the South Pacific with a group from the University of Southern California to entertain American troops from 1943 to 1944. During this tour, he was also asked by OSS head William J. Donovan to report back on General Douglas MacArthur's performance, a contribution that earned him an OSS Certificate of Service. Despite his efforts, Wayne's inability to serve in combat became a lasting source of regret. According to his widow, this regret may have fueled the strong patriotism he showed later in life, as he became a super patriot and an outspoken supporter of American values. John Wayne's first color film was Shepherd of the Hills, where he starred alongside his close friend, Harry Carey. In 1942, he took on a complex role in Cecil B. DeMille's Reap the Wild Wind, a Technicolor epic in which Wayne played a character with questionable morals, sharing the screen with Ray Milland and Paulette Goddard. Wayne didn't just stick to the silver screen. Like many stars of his era, he also ventured into radio. He was a guest on popular shows like The Hedda Hopper Show and The Luella Parsons Show, often recreating his movie roles. In 1942, he starred in his own radio adventure series, 3 Sheets to the Wind, playing Detective Dan O'Brien, a clever investigator who pretended to be an alcoholic to solve cases. Though it was considered for a film adaptation, that never materialized. And unfortunately, no surviving episodes featuring Wayne exist today. In 1949, Wayne turned down the lead role in All the King's Men after deciding the script felt un-American. Ironically, Broderick Crawford, who accepted the role, won the Oscar for Best Actor that year, edging out Wayne, who was nominated for Sands of Iwo Jima. John Wayne's career was defined by determination, loyalty, and a string of memorable roles that solidified his place in Hollywood history. In 1950, he missed out on the role of Jimmy Ringo in The Gunfighter, a part intended for him, because of a long-standing grudge against Columbia Pictures head Harry Cohn. Cohn, who had acquired the script specifically for Wayne, eventually sold it to 20th Century Fox, where Gregory Peck took on the role. Despite setbacks, Wayne's career continued to flourish. In 1952, Wayne co-founded his own production company, Batjack, inspired by the fictional shipping company in wake of the Red Witch. A secretary's misspelling changed the name to Batjack, and Wayne let it stand. Through Batjack, he produced hits for himself and others, like 7 Men from Now, marking a significant collaboration between director Bud Boetticher and actor Randolph Scott, and Gun the Man Down, starring James Arness. Wayne's portrayal of a heroic co-pilot in The High and the Mighty earned him wide acclaim, solidifying his role as a leading man. In his 2-decade partnership with director John Ford, Wayne starred in nearly 20 films, including She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, The Quiet Man, and The Searchers, one of his most complex roles. He famously coined the term pilgrim in this film, which became an iconic line. In 1959, he starred in Howard Hawks' Rio Bravo, a film now celebrated as a Western classic. Later that year, The Horse Soldiers, directed by John Ford, paired Wayne with William Holden. In 1960, Wayne directed and starred in The Alamo, earning an Oscar nomination for Best Picture, and soon after starred in North to Alaska. The following year, he co-starred with Stuart Whitman in The Comancheros, and then reunited with Ford for The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance alongside James Stewart. During the 1960s, Wayne took on diverse roles including Hatari, where he played an animal tracker in Africa, and The Longest Day, where he earned a significant paycheck after tough negotiations. His role in How the West Was Won was another success, and Donovan's Reef marked his final film with Ford. The 1964 film Circus World, co-starring Rita Hayworth and Claudia Cardinale, further showcased his range. The 1970s brought even more hits. True Grit earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor, and Chisholm, Rio Lobo, Big Jake, and The Cowboys were each praised. Wayne's later roles included The Train Robbers, Cahill U.S. Marshal, MCQ, and Brannigan. His final role, in The Shootist, 1976, saw him portray a dying gunslinger, reflecting his real-life battle with cancer. The film received strong reviews and was a fitting tribute to a remarkable career. From cowboys to soldiers, pilots to detectives, Wayne's roles showcased his versatility and created an enduring legacy. Which of Wayne's roles stands out to you as a defining moment in his legendary career? Leave a comment with the number 9 if you enjoyed this movie. John Wayne wasn't just a Hollywood icon. He was also a staunch conservative, unafraid to express his views. Known for his anti-communist stance, Wayne initially voted for Democratic President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1936 and respected Democrat Harry S. Truman, even though he supported Republican Thomas Dewey in 1948. In 1944, Wayne helped establish the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals, a conservative organization, and became its president in 1949. As a supporter of the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC, Wayne starred in the 1952 film Big Jim McLean to voice his support for HUAC's mission. His anti-communist fervor was so intense that he even endorsed Hollywood blacklisting of individuals with communist ties. There's a famous story that Soviet leader Joseph Stalin allegedly ordered Wayne's assassination due to his outspoken anti-communism, despite being a fan of Wayne's movies. Wayne's commitment to conservative causes was evident throughout his life. He backed Republican Richard Nixon in the 1960 presidential election, but still expressed patriotism after Democrat John F. Kennedy won, saying he hoped Kennedy would do a good job. Later, Wayne produced and starred in The Green Berets in 1968, one of the few Hollywood films supporting the Vietnam War. Wayne's political life also included a brief association with the John Birch Society, a far-right group, although he left after they claimed fluoride in drinking water was a communist plot. In 1964, he actively campaigned for Barry Goldwater in his presidential run, and by the late 60s, he was one of Hollywood's leading conservative voices. Some wealthy Texas Republicans even encouraged Wayne to run for office in 1968, but he joked that people wouldn't take an actor seriously in politics. Instead, he supported his friend Ronald Reagan's successful California gubernatorial campaigns. Wayne's strong views also led to unique incidents. During the 1971 Academy Awards, when Marlon Brando sent Native American activist Sachin Littlefeather to decline his Oscar in protest, Wayne reportedly wanted to confront her and had to be restrained by security, although some accounts cast doubt on this story. He also famously had a humorous rivalry with political opponents, once showing critic Roger Ebert a bathroom decorated with a photo of Democrat Hubert Humphrey. In a controversial 1971 Playboy interview, Wayne shared divisive views on social issues, including race relations and social welfare. He expressed belief in white supremacy until black people were educated and defended the taking of land from Native Americans as necessary for survival. His criticism of welfare programs and defense of the police and military reflected his conservative, self-reliant philosophy. Though Wayne's politics often clashed with Hollywood, some, including left-wing activist Abby Hoffman, respected his authenticity, calling him a formidable dinosaur. Leave a comment with the number 1 if you agree with our opinion. In 2019, a controversial 1971 interview with John Wayne resurfaced, sparking calls to rename John Wayne Airport due to offensive remarks. His son defended him, saying the comments were taken out of context. The debate reignited during the 2020 George Floyd protests, and by July, the University of Southern California removed a Wayne exhibit after student protests. Wayne's personal life was as dynamic as his career. He married 3 times, divorcing twice. With his first wife, Josephine Alicia Science, he had 4 children: Michael, Mary Tony, Patrick, and Melinda. His second marriage was to Esperanza Bauer, and his third to Pilar Palet from Peru, with whom he had 3 more children: Aisa, John Ethan, and Marisa. Many of his children followed in his footsteps in entertainment. Ethan Wayne became an actor, and granddaughter Jennifer Wayne is a country singer with Runaway June. Beyond film, Wayne's legacy included varied pursuits and relationships. In 1973, inspired by Pilar's love for tennis, he opened the John Wayne Tennis Club in Newport Beach, later renamed the Palisades Tennis Club. His marriage to Bohr was turbulent, marked by intense conflict, but Wayne's charm and humor won over fans and friends on and off the screen. After separating from Pilar, he shared his life with Pat Stacey, his former secretary, until his passing in 1979. Stacey later published a memoir about their life together, giving fans insight into his personal side. Known for his toupee, which he acknowledged with humor, Wayne's openness and humility only added to his everyman appeal. If you like their love story, please drop a flower emoji in the comment. Wayne's intellectual curiosity was evident in his love for literature. He enjoyed classics by authors such as Charles Dickens, Arthur Conan Doyle, and Agatha Christie, with favorites including David Copperfield and Conan Doyle's historical novels. On film sets, Wayne was often seen playing chess, a pastime that showcased his competitive spirit and strategic mind, as well as camaraderie with friends. True to his Western persona, Wayne had a special fondness for firearms, often using a Colt single-action army revolver in his films, adding authenticity to his rugged on-screen characters. Wayne's resilience extended to his personal health battles. His public fight against lung cancer reflected his courage and commitment to raising awareness about health and encouraging others to prioritize preventive care. Wayne's relationships, especially with his wives, reveal a man whose life was often as dramatic as his roles. Pilar Palete, for instance, once revealed that during their marriage, she faced a painful choice when she became pregnant amid their divorce proceedings. Fearing a scandal that might damage his career, Wayne persuaded her to undergo an abortion, a decision she kept private for decades, later revealing it in her memoir. Her disclosure reflects the intense pressures and sacrifices often hidden behind a celebrity's public image. John Wayne's marriage to Esperanza Chata Bauer was one of the most tumultuous chapters in his life. Known for her fiery and unpredictable nature, Chata once reportedly tried to shoot Wayne during a heated argument. After their divorce, her life took a tragic turn. She struggled with despair and alcoholism and passed away alone in a Mexican hotel at just 40 years old. Her story reflects the darker consequences of fame and the complex relationships that can lie behind a celebrity's public image. The lives of Pilar Palete and Esperanza Chata Bauer reveal deeper themes beyond celebrity gossip. They illustrate the human side of fame, the pressures, sacrifices, and toll it can take on personal relationships. For Palette, the heartbreaking decision regarding her pregnancy highlighted the difficult balance between personal values and the demands of a high-profile career. Chata's story, on the other hand, reflects the tragic consequences of a volatile relationship intensified by public scrutiny. These stories remind us that behind Hollywood's glamour lies a complex tapestry of human experience: love, betrayal, forgiveness, and loss. Wayne's efforts to shield his private struggles reveal just how far some may go to protect their public image, often at great personal cost. Thank you for watching our channel. If you want to learn more about John Wayne, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. See you next time, and have a great day.